Today we're going to look at how to subtract unlike denominators within a fraction. So if I'm working with the number 7/8 minus 2/3, I can't do anything because 8 and 3 are different denominators. So my first step is going to be to find my least common denominator. So I'm going to use those denominators to do that. And I will start by listing the multiples of 8, and then I will list the multiples of 3. And sometimes you can go to just 5, so we'll start with 5 and we'll see if we get far enough. 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 24, 32, and 40. I'm going to stop there for now and go on to my 3's. And a good tool for finding those multiples is your multiplication chart if you get stuck. So 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15. Oops. Erase that. 3 times 5 is 15. And I don't have a match yet, so I'm going to keep going, but I'm just going to keep going with the 3's because since 3 is a smaller number, I want to catch up to my 8's and those larger numbers. So 3 times 7 is 21, 3 times 8 is 24, and there it is. There's my match. So I will circle 24 in each of those columns because 24 will now be my least common denominator. Step number 2 then is going to be to change my fractions. And I'll start with my original fractions to do this. So my 7/8 and my 2/3. 7/8 I'm going to multiply by something and end up with that common denominator of 24. And 2/3 I'm going to multiply by something, end up with that common denominator of 24. And I can actually use my lists over here to help me. So I see that 8 times 3 gives me 24. Whatever I do to change this fraction, if I do it to the denominator, I also have to do the same to the numerator. So then I'm going to use 3 for the numerator to change that as well. So then 7 times 3 equals 21. And then I'll change my second fraction. 3 times something equals 28. And again, I can look at my list. 3 times 8 gives me 24. So then 2 times 8 gives me 16. So now I've changed my fractions. For my third step, I'm just ready to subtract. And I'm going to subtract those new fractions that I just changed, those new equivalent fractions. So I'm going to subtract 21 over 24 minus 16 over 24. And this will get me to my final answer. My denominator is 24 because it has to be the same. 21 minus 16 is 5. So the answer to that problem is 5/24.